And today we're going to learn how to make one of the world's best all-time recipes, Greek chili. It's also known as Cincinnati chili. So it can either be called Cincinnati chili or Greek chili. But today we're going to make it Greek chili, and that's what we call it here in this kitchen. About 100 years ago, the Greeks brought this chili to Cincinnati, which is also why it is called Cincinnati chili. But since the Greeks are the ones who brought it there, that is also why it is called Greek chili. So that's what we're going to call it today, is what the kind of chili we're making. And also, as another kind of chili, there's also Texas chili. But Texas chili is way different than the kind of chili we're going to make today, because this chili that we're going to make today has beans and tomato sauce in it, and the Texas chili does not. And you know, folks, in Texas, it's all pretty much illegal to put beans and tomato sauce in chili because they just don't like it that way. And I also forgot to mention that this family recipe was first made by my mom's grandma, Virginia. And on the first Christmas after my parents got married, this recipe was given to my mom by her Aunt Ann. And boy, has it been delicious, because she's been making it for a long time, and I started to love it. And folks, I'm really actually starting to like this chili a lot better than Texas chili. Yeah, you know, folks, I never actually really quite knew the reason why they call this whole recipe chili, because, you know, you guys may know that in the winter they call it chili outside because it is very cold outside, and that's also another word for cold, chili. And then, you know, there's also even the country of Chile in South America. You know, I'm not exactly quite sure where chili came from, but I think the Texans are probably going to be the ones to say that they were the ones who started it. And my dad was the one who grew up in Texas, and he was one who was all raised up on Texas chili. So we'll see how he likes this recipe for Greek chili for something new. So folks, let's get started here. I mean, look at all these ingredients we have. And it is very complicated, but all these ingredients we have right here are going to all come together to make a nice, big, delicious dish of Greek chili, baby. So first of all, the first thing I gotta do before we start this recipe is I gotta wash my hands, of course. Put some soap on your hands, and you turn on the sink, and then you scrub it up, those hands. Towel, please. Thank you. All right, and you're out.
Ow.
Ow! So now the first thing we gotta do, folks, is we gotta get our 3 pounds of beef right here and going on the stove. So we're gonna take our 3 pounds we have right here, and we're going to pour it into this pot. And we're going to break it in pieces and put it in the pot. Now that we have our hamburger beef in, we're going to take our spatula and we're going to break it up in the pot. So you want to keep smashing it up and breaking it up until it's turned completely brown, because that is just the way we want it to look. So now we're going to take our one big bowl of chopped up diced onions and pour them into our pot with the beef. Now while we are waiting for our beef and onions to brown, I'm going to go over all the ingredients we have. We have 2 cans of Field Day organic tomato sauce. And remember, folks, you will never ever find this in Texas chili. Now we have 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And folks, the chili powder is of course the #1 ingredient that we add into our chili to make it become chili. Now we have 1 tablespoon of salt. Now we have 1 teaspoon of cumin. And then we have 1 teaspoon of paprika. Now we have 4 chopped garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. And we have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then folks, can you believe it that we add cinnamon into chili? It's pretty amazing, right? And I know just what you're thinking. We have 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, 4 dried chili peppers. I've always wondered what these peppers are good for, but now I know. We have 1 splash of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of sugar. The last thing we add to this recipe, but certainly not the least thing, is we have 3 bay leaves. Now folks, you may think this is a very crazy thing to add into the recipe, and because they come from outside and you see them floating all around the earth on the grass. But these are actually okay to add into recipe. At the end of the recipe, after we add these and the chili peppers, we will be removing them, because you aren't actually really supposed to eat them. They're just to give it a little bit of flavor on the outside. Flavor is what this recipe is 100% entirely all about, baby. Okay, so now folks, now we're going to add in our 4 chopped garlic cloves into the beef and onion, and we're going to keep stirring it up until the beef turns completely brown. In goes the garlic, folks, and now we stir. Now we now that our beef is completely brown and just the way how we want it to look, we are going to add in our 3 cups of hot water and our 2 cans of tomato sauce. Bam! And then we stir. And now our 2 cans of tomato sauce, folks, the main ingredient that makes this chili taste so good, but never in Texas. So folks, let's get our tomato sauce stirred in really good. Now we are going to start adding in every single one of our spices, and I just moved them over here just to make it more easier to put in. To start out, we are going to add in our 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire. Bam! Now folks, we're going to add in our 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. Now we're going to add in our 1 teaspoon of chili powder, which is also the main ingredients that goes into every single chili in the whole world. Bam! Now we're going to add in our 1 tablespoon of salt. Bam! Now we're going to add in our 1 teaspoon of cumin. Our 1 tablespoon of paprika. Our 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Yep, cinnamon. Our 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Bam! And now that ingredient is actually also going to give it a little kick. Now we're going to do our 1 teaspoon of cardamom. Bam! 1 splash of vinegar. Our 1 teaspoon of sugar. And last but certainly not least, our 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. Bam! Now that we have every single one of our spices in, we are, of course, as always, going to give it a nice big stir. Now we're going to add in our 4 chili peppers. And folks, you would never want to unpeel the top off of these, or else the beans would come out and you'd add them in and it would be way, way, way too hot to eat and it would burn your whole mouth. So we would never want that to happen with this chili in this kitchen. Bam. And last, the 3 bay leaves. Bam. And we stir. Now we turn down our heat and we're gonna let it simmer for 2 hours until all the spices and everything comes together. See you in 2 hours. Now we're going to take this tool and we're going to take each of our chili peppers out one at a time. And also we're going to take out the 3 bay leaves as well. And there's also 5 ways to make this chili. So we're going to start with the 1 way as chili only. So 1 way chili, here we come. We're going to take our spoon here and take out 1 big spoonful of chili and put it into our bowl. Bam! To make it 2 way chili, we add spaghetti on top. Now there you have it, 2 way chili. Chili plus spaghetti. Now let's make it 3 way chili by putting a spoonful of onions on there. Bam! And now folks, there you have it, 3 way chili. Now let's make it 4 way chili by adding a spoonful of beans. Bam! That didn't seem like quite enough beans, so let's just put in a 2nd spoonful. Bam! And now there you have it, folks, 4 way chili. Now let's make a 5 way chili by adding in some great, delicious cheddar cheese. Bam! And there you have it, folks, 5 way chili. Remember how I promised you I'd do it 6 way chili. So now we're going to add in a handful of Fritos. I'm telling you, this is the Texas trip. So we brought the Greeks and the Texans together, folks. Oh boy, my dad is just gonna love this. Bam! Now folks, let's go back to our stove and let's just add a tiny bit more chili on top of that, just for a tiny bit more accent. This is Chef LB's 6 way chili. Greek chili with just a tiny bit of Texas flair. Well, that's it for today, folks. I'll see you next time when I'm back on the job, and I promise I'll be back on the job again soon. So see you then. Adios and yum yum.